Welcome to Reddit Drama Unpacked, where we unravel the wildest tales of betrayal, revenge, and redemption straight from the heart of America. Hey y'all, thanks for joining us. Drop a comment and tell us where you're watching from. If you love jaw-dropping cheating wife stories and Reddit-style family drama, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell for weekly scandals. Today, we're heading to Savannah, Georgia, where oak-lined streets hide dark secrets. Meet Noah Sullivan, a small-town lawyer whose perfect life with his charity queen wife, Clara Bennett, is a lie. When an anonymous tip exposes her affair and a $250,000 charity scam, Noah's world crumbles. Will he unravel Clara's web of deceit with his best friend's help, or is betrayal closer than he thinks? Buckle up for a roller coaster of lies, love, and Southern justice. Let's dive in. In Savannah, Georgia, where historic squares glowed under gas lamps and live oaks whispered secrets in the humid breeze, Noah Sullivan was a pillar of trust. At 40, he was the city's beloved civil attorney, fighting for tenants against greedy developers from his cozy office on Broughton Street. Framed thank you letters from clients lined the walls, a testament to his heart. Noah's hazel eyes sparkled with warmth, his slow southern drawl soothing even the angriest clients, but few knew the scars he carried. Orphaned at 9 after a car accident, he'd grown up in foster homes, finding solace only when adopted at 15 by Ruth, a kind-hearted nurse now battling heart failure. Noah's life revolved around her care and his 8-year marriage to Clara Bennett, Savannah's golden girl. Clara, 36, ran Savannah Unity Fund, a charity supporting local clinics and youth programs. Her chestnut curls, emerald eyes, and radiant smile lit up every room, from church potlucks to gala fundraisers at Forsyth Park. To Savannah, Noah and Clara were a dream, high school sweethearts turned power couple, hosting oyster roasts and praying together at Christ Episcopal Church. Their Victorian home on Jones Street, with its wraparound porch and Ruth's rose garden, was the envy of neighbors. But lately, Noah felt a chill in their perfect world. Clara's late-night texts, her vague excuses about fund expenses, and the lingering scent of cedarwood cologne on her coat, alien to Noah's simple aftershave, gnawed at him. One sticky August night, as Noah adjusted Ruth's heart monitor in her bedroom, his phone pinged with an anonymous email. Savannah Unity's books are dirty. Clara's hiding more than money. Attached was a blurry photo of Clara at a Tybee Island bar, her hand on Vincent Hayes' arm, a flashy real estate mogul who'd been cozying up to her at charity events. Vincent's sharp suits and shark-like grin screamed trouble. Noah's chest tightened. He'd trusted Clara since their prom days, but Vincent's presence felt like a blade. His lawyer's instincts flared. Scandals like this had ruined clients, and now it was personal. The next day, at the fund's quarterly meeting in a chandelier-lit hall, Noah watched Clara charm the board with flawless slides. Her laugh echoed, but her gaze skipped over him. Elliot Parker, Noah's best friend since Georgia Southern University, and the fund's accountant, endorsed her figures with a tight smile. Elliot, who'd talked Noah through a suicide scare at 22, was his rock. Yet, as Elliot fidgeted with his pen, Noah caught a fleeting look between him and Clara, guarded, conspiratorial. Doubt clawed at his gut. That evening, under Savannah's starlit sky, Noah drove to his office, the city's cobblestone streets rattling his old Jeep. Ruth's words echoed. Truth don't hide forever, Noah. Using Clara's unchanged login, her birth date sentimental as ever, he accessed the fund's server. His blood ran cold. $250,000 in marketing fees funneled to a shell company linked to Vincent Hayes. Fake invoices, stamped by Elliot, buried the trail. Noah's hands trembled as he saved the evidence to a flash drive. His wife and best friend were robbing the community he'd bled for, and maybe each other's beds. As he locked the office, Clara's text buzzed. Stuck at a donor dinner with Vincent. Sleep tight. Noah stared at the words, the humid air thick with betrayal. Ruth's frail voice rang in his mind. You free stronger than your pain. His pain screamed that Clara's love was a lie, Vincent her accomplice, and Elliot a traitor. Noah swore to unravel their scheme, not just for justice, but for the boy who'd lost everything once and refused to lose again. He'd shadow Clara's meetings, dig into Vincent's deals, and confront Elliot's loyalty. Savannah's gossip mill would soon churn, and its golden couple would face a reckoning. The sultry Savannah nights, thick with the scent of magnolias and secrets, couldn't soothe Noah Sullivan's restless heart. After uncovering $250,000 in fraudulent transfers from Savannah Unity Fund to Vincent Hayes's shell company, Noah's trust in his wife, Clara Bennett, and best friend Elliot Parker lay in tatters. The anonymous email and Clara's cedarwood-scented coat haunted him, each clue a dagger to the life he'd built. At 40, Noah had fought for every scrap of stability, orphaned at 9, fostered through cold homes, saved by his adoptive mother, Ruth's love. Now, as Ruth's heart monitor beeped faintly in their Jones Street Victorian, Noah vowed to protect her and expose the betrayal threatening their community. Clara's text about donor dinners with Vincent felt like a taunt, and Elliot's nervous glance at the fund meeting screamed complicity. Noah, the lawyer who'd outsmarted crooked landlords, turned his sharp mind to a new case, his own marriage. Noah began his investigation under Savannah's moonlit oaks, tailing Clara to a waterfront restaurant on River Street, the Cotton Sale, where she met Vincent. From his parked Jeep, hidden in the alley's shadows, Noah watched through binoculars. Clara, radiant in a sapphire dress Noah had bought for their anniversary, laughed too intimately with Vincent, their hands brushing over wine glasses. His tailored suit and predatory smirk confirmed Noah's fears. Vincent wasn't just a donor. Noah's phone recorded their whispers, catching phrases like, "next transfer," and Elliot's handling the books. The words burned. Clara wasn't just cheating. She was orchestrating a heist, and Elliot, Noah's confidant of 20 years, was her accomplice. Noah's heart pounded, recalling Elliot's late-night calls to Clara, dismissed as fund business. The betrayal cut deeper than any courtroom loss. Back home, as Ruth slept, Noah rigged a discreet plan. He'd once helped a client catch a cheating spouse with nanny cams, and now he'd use the same tactic. He installed tiny cameras in their living room and Clara's home office, syncing them to his laptop. At Clara's fund headquarters on Bay Street, he posed as a volunteer to slip a keylogger onto her computer during a chaotic gala prep. The keylogger captured Clara's emails to Vincent, detailing $500,000 more in planned transfers to a firm called Coastal Horizons, linked to Isabelle Thornton, a mysterious Atlanta philanthropist. Noah's research revealed Isabelle's empire: luxury condos, offshore accounts, and whispers of fraud. Clara's fund was a cog in a larger machine, and Elliot's signatures on every fake invoice tied him to the scheme. Noah's blood boiled. His best friend, who'd held him through a suicidal spiral at 22, had sold their brotherhood for profit. The community's whispers added salt to Noah's wounds. At Christ Episcopal Church, where Noah and Clara once sang hymns, congregants gossiped about Clara's late meetings and Vincent's flashy Porsche parked at her office. Ruth, frail but sharp, overheard the rumors at her knitting circle and pressed Noah. "Is Clara true to you, son?" Noah lied, shielding Ruth's fragile health. But the question haunted him. Savannah's tight-knit streets, once a comfort, now felt like a cage. Every neighbor's glance a judgment. Noah's pain wasn't just personal. Clara's scam stole from the clinics and kids he championed. He imagined Ruth's hospital bills, unpaid if the fund collapsed, and his resolve hardened. Justice wasn't enough. He needed to dismantle Clara's world. Noah's plan took shape in his Broughton Street office, surrounded by case files and Ruth's old photos. He contacted a private investigator, Sarah Miles, a former client with a knack for digging dirt. Sarah traced Vincent's deals, uncovering ties to Coastal Horizons and Isabelle Thornton's network, which defrauded charities across the South. Noah also hacked Elliot's email, finding coded messages to Clara about cleaning the books before an audit. The evidence piled up, but Noah didn't rush to the police. He'd seen rich crooks dodge jail with slick lawyers, and Vincent's wealth screamed immunity. Instead, Noah plotted a personal reckoning. He'd expose Clara and Elliot at the fund's annual gala, Savannah's biggest event, where the town's elite would witness their fall. He'd feed Sarah's findings to a local reporter, ensuring the scandal hit the Savannah Morning News first. As Noah drove past Forsyth Park's fountain, Clara S.'s latest text lit his phone. Vincent S. hosting a donor retreat this weekend. I'll be gone. Noah's grip tightened, the humid air heavy with rage. Ruth's words echoed, "Truth don't hide forever." Noah wouldn't just reveal the truth. He'd make Clara, Vincent, and Elliot face Savannah's wrath. The boy who'd survived foster care, who'd built a life from ashes, wouldn't let betrayal win. He'd shadow Clara's retreat, hack deeper into Elliot's accounts, and prepare a trap to unravel their lies. Savannah's gossip mill was about to explode, and Noah Sullivan was lighting the fuse. Under Savannah's humid haze, where cicadas sang and gas lamps flickered, Noah Sullivan wove a web to ensnare his betrayers. The sting of Clara Bennett's affair with Vincent Hayes and Elliot Parker's complicity in their $250,000 charity scam fueled his resolve. Noah's cameras and keyloggers had exposed their plan to funnel $500,000 more to Isabelle Thornton's Coastal Horizons, a sprawling fraud network. At 40, Noah, the orphaned lawyer who'd clawed stability from a foster care childhood, refused to let his wife and best friend destroy Savannah Unity Fund, or his adoptive mother Ruth's fragile world. Clara's texts about donor retreats with Vincent mocked him, and Elliot's coded emails about clean books burned like acid. Savannah's gossip mill churned, church whispers of Clara's late nights stung. But Noah, hardened by years outsmarting crooked developers, played the fool to spring a trap. For 6 weeks, Noah wore a mask of normalcy. At home, he cooked shrimp and grits for Clara, laughing at her gala stories, though her emerald eyes dodged his. With Elliot, he shared beers at Moon River Brewing, probing fund audits without tipping his hand. Noah's heart ached, recalling Elliot's arm around him during his darkest college days. But betrayal demanded justice. He fed Clara a lie, a fictional $1 million grant from a Chicago donor, secured for the fund, to be announced at the gala. Clara's eyes lit up, and Noah's hidden cameras caught her texting Vincent, "Big money coming. We move fast." Elliot, at a fake budget meeting, suggested rerouting the grant to consultants. Noah's pulse raced. Their greed was his bait. To tighten the noose, Noah staged a decoy. He planted fake documents on the fund's server, detailing the Chicago grant and a secure transfer to a dummy account he controlled. Clara, monitored by the keylogger, accessed them within hours, emailing Vincent and Isabelle Thornton about splitting the million. Noah's investigator, Sarah Miles, tailed Vincent to a Tybee Island condo, catching him with Clara, plotting to liquidate fund assets. Sarah's photos, Clara and Vincent's arms laughing, crushed Noah, but he buried the pain. He rigged a second trap, a staged emergency audit memo, leaked to Elliot, claiming the fund's books were under scrutiny. Elliot's frantic call to Clara, recorded by Noah's phone tap, confirmed their panic. "We need to shred the invoices." Noah smirked. Their moves were his script. Savannah's community tightened the screws. At Christ Episcopal Church, Clara played the saint, hugging congregants, but whispers of her Porsche rides with Vincent spread. Noah shunned for Clara's rumored stress, endured cold stares, his foster care shame resurfacing, alone, unwanted. Ruth, coughing through her knitting circle, begged Noah to fix the fund for Savannah's kids. Her frail trust fueled him. Noah coordinated with the Savannah Morning News reporter Jenna Cole, slipping her anonymized evidence of the $250,000 fraud, primed for Gala Day release. He also hired a tech expert to hack the gala's projector, ready to flash Clara's emails and Sarah's photos to Savannah's elite. The gala loomed at Forsyth Park, its fountain glowing under fairy lights. Clara, unaware of Noah's traps, planned a speech to honor Noah, a cruel irony. Noah tested her, leaving his laptop open with fake grant details. Clara, thinking him asleep, copied the files, her perfume stinging Noah's senses. He lay still, heart pounding, as she whispered to Vincent on the phone. Noah's clueless. "We're set." Noah's rage simmered, but his plan was locked. He'd let Clara and Elliot dig deeper, their gala spotlight turning to shame. Ruth's words echoed. Truth don't hide forever. Noah's truth was a guillotine. Clara's charm, Vincent's wealth, Elliot's loyalty would crumble before Savannah's eyes. As Noah polished his gala suit, Clara's text buzzed, "Big night tomorrow. Love you." The lie twisted like a knife. Noah, shaped by loss, parents at 9, trust at 40, wouldn't flinch. He'd shadow the gala prep, ensure Jenna's story hit, and trigger the projector hack. Savannah's oak-lined streets, once his refuge, were a battlefield. The boy who'd survived foster homes, who'd held Ruth through chemo, was ready to burn Clara's world down. The gala wasn't just a party. It was Noah Sullivan's checkmate. The night of the Savannah Unity Fund Gala bathed Forsyth Park in a golden glow, fairy lights twinkling above Savannah's elite. Noah Sullivan, in a crisp navy suit, stood among the crowd, his hazel eyes masking a storm. For weeks, he'd played the doting husband, luring Clara Bennett, Vincent Hayes, and Elliot Parker into his trap. His cameras, keyloggers, and fake $1 million grant had exposed their $250,000 scam, with $500,000 more planned for Isabelle Thornton's coastal horizons. Noah's heart, forged in the crucible of a foster care childhood and now guarding his ailing mother, Ruth, burned for justice. Clara's speech to honor him was a cruel facade. Her texts with Vincent, Noah's clueless, a blade. Elliot's betrayal, after 20 years of friendship, cut deepest. Tonight, Savannah would see their masks fall. As Clara took the stage, radiant in emerald silk, her voice charmed the crowd, praising Noah's support for the fund. The projector, hacked by Noah's tech expert, flickered. Gasps rippled as Clara's emails flashed. Her plans with Vincent to siphon $500,000, signed by Elliot. Sarah Miles's photos followed. Clara and Vincent, entwined at Tybee Island. The crowd froze, glasses clinking silent. Clara stammered, her smile crumbling, as Vincent in a corner paled. Elliot near the bar dropped his drink, eyes darting for escape. Noah stepped forward, voice steady. "Clara, Vincent, Elliot, explain this to Savannah." The room erupted in whispers, church ladies clutching pearls, donors glaring. Clara, ever the performer, tried tears, claiming misunderstandings. But Noah's next move silenced her. He handed the mic to Jenna Cole, the Savannah Morning News reporter, who read from her breaking story, $250,000 stolen, linked to coastal horizons, with Elliot's invoices and Clara's emails as proof. Noah had slipped Jenna the evidence, timed for tonight's chaos. He then played a recording, Elliot's panicked call to Clara about shredding invoices. The crowd booed, a donor shouting, "Thieves!" Clara lunged for the mic, accusing Noah of jealous sabotage, but the projector flashed her text. "Noah's clueless. We're set." Savannah's elite turned on her, faces twisting in disgust. Vincent tried to slip out, but Sarah blocked him, whispering, "Stay, or the FBI gets your offshore accounts." Noah's trap was airtight. In a private tent, Noah confronted the trio, away from the crowd's eyes. He laid out their crimes: $250,000 stolen, $500,000 planned, Isabelle Thornton's network exposed. "Sign confessions," Noah demanded, sliding papers across a table, "or I send Sarah's full dossier to the feds and Isabelle's rivals." Clara, trembling, claimed Vincent coerced her, but her eyes betrayed greed. Elliot, sweating, begged Noah, citing their college bond, but Noah's voice was ice. "You sold me for cash." Vincent, smug, offered a bribe, but Noah's glare shut him down. Clara signed first, tears smearing ink, admitting the affair and fraud but denying knowledge of Isabelle's deeper crimes. Elliot followed, mumbling apologies. Vincent, cornered, scrawled his name, cursing Noah. Noah pocketed the confessions, his face stone. Outside, Savannah's gossip mill exploded. Churchgoers shunned Clara, whispering of harlots. Donors pulled funding, vowing lawsuits. Ruth, watching via livestream at home, called Noah, her voice weak but proud. "You did right, son." Her words soothed Noah's scars. Orphaned at 9, he'd fought for this family. But he wasn't done. Noah had sent Sarah's dossier to a contact, the broker, a shadowy fixer who'd ruin Isabelle's network outside the law. By dawn, Jenna's story hit front pages, naming Clara, Vincent, and Elliot. Noah drove home, Ruth's roses glowing under streetlights, Clara's perfume still stinging his memory. She'd played him, but he'd won this round. Clara's counterattack loomed. Hours later, she called from a hotel, voice shaking. "You'll regret humiliating me, Noah." Her threat chilled him, but Noah, shaped by loss, parents, trust, love, was ready. Savannah's Oaks whispered of battles ahead. He'd protect Ruth, the fund, and his name, no matter Clara's next move. The gala's fallout was just the start. Noah Sullivan's justice was afire, and he'd burn their lies to ash. Savannah's oak-lined streets, once a haven for Noah Sullivan, now whispered judgment in the humid dawn. The Savannah Unity Fund Gala had shattered Clara Bennett's facade, exposing her affair with Vincent Hayes and their $250,000 scam, with $500,000 more planned for Isabelle Thornton's coastal horizons. Noah's projector hack and Jenna Cole's Savannah morning news story had turned Savannah's elite against Clara, Vincent, and Elliot Parker, Noah's best friend of 20 years, who'd signed confessions under duress. At 40, Noah, orphaned at 9 and anchored by his ailing adoptive mother Ruth, felt both triumph and torment. Clara's threat, "You'll regret humiliating me," echoed, and the community's cold stares stung. Ruth's proud call after the gala soothed him, but Noah knew the fire he'd lit was spreading, and his justice, fueled by a foster care past, would burn beyond Savannah's courts. 3 weeks later, Noah faced the fallout in his Broughton Street office, case files buried under hate mail. Donors demanded his resignation from the fund's board, blaming him for airing dirty laundry. Churchgoers at Christ Episcopal, once his family, shunned him, whispering he'd ruined a good woman. The gossip mill churned. Clara, holed up in a Tybee Island motel, spun tales of Noah's control, painting herself as a victim. Noah's foster care scars, feeling unwanted alone, resurfaced, each rumor a lash. Ruth, coughing harder, urged him to stand tall, but her hospital bills loomed, the fund's collapse a threat. Noah's guilt gnawed. Had he destroyed Savannah's trust to punish Clara? Yet his evidence, Clara's emails, Elliot's invoices, Vincent's accounts, kept him focused. Justice wasn't done. Clara, desperate, requested a meeting through her lawyer, offering information for leniency. Noah met her in a sterile Savannah jail visiting room, her emerald eyes dulled, chestnut curls limp. She admitted Vincent coerced her into the scam, claiming Elliot had dirt on her from years back, a debt from her event planning days. Clara swore she didn't know Isabelle Thornton is full reach, a network defrauding charities from Miami to Charleston. "Isabelle's untouchable," Clara whispered, naming a shell company, Horizon Ventures, tied to Isabelle's Atlanta penthouse. Noah's jaw tightened. She was bargaining, not repenting. He recorded her words, masking his disgust. Clara's plea, "I loved you, Noah, despite everything," twisted like a knife, but her greed, not love, shone through. Noah left, her voice haunting him. Back at his office, Noah reported to the fund's interim chair, Grace Harper, detailing the gala's evidence and Clara's confession. Grace pushed for police action, but Noah hesitated. Vincent's wealth and Isabelle's connections screamed immunity. Instead, he doubled down on the broker, the fixer he'd tasked with dismantling coastal horizons. Noah sent Clara's Horizon Ventures tip to the broker, who leaked it to Isabelle's rivals, ruthless developers cut out of her deals. Within days, Vincent's offshore accounts were frozen, his Porsche repossessed. A cryptic email from the broker confirmed Vincent was handled, found dead in a Miami hotel, ruled a drug overdose. Elliot, hiding in Atlanta, was next. His car crashed off a bridge, deemed a suicide. Savannah buzzed with fear, whispers of a curse on the fund. Noah's heart sank. He'd wanted justice, not blood. Ruth, watching news of the deaths, gripped his hand. "You didn't do this, son." But Noah's foster care survival instinct, cold, unyielding, whispered otherwise. He'd unleashed the broker, knowing the cost. Clara, still in jail, sent a letter begging to meet again, claiming more on Isabelle. Noah burned it, her lies too heavy. Savannah's gossip turned darker. Some called Noah a hero, others a vigilante. He drove past Ruth's roses, their scent mixing with Clara's phantom perfume. Isabelle Thornton loomed, her network untouched, and Clara's threat lingered. Noah, shaped by loss, parents' trust innocence, braced for the next fight. His justice, once a beacon, now cast shadows, and Savannah's oaks held their breath. Savannah's courthouse, a red brick sentinel on Wright Square, loomed under a gray November sky, its columns casting shadows on Noah Sullivan's weary face. 6 months after the Savannah Unity Fund gala exposed Clara Bennett's $250,000 scam and affair with Vincent Hayes, Noah bore the scars of victory. His projector hack and confessions forced by Clara, Vincent, and Elliot Parker had unraveled their $500,000 plot with Isabelle Thornton's coastal horizons. Vincent's overdose and Elliot's suicide, orchestrated by the broker, left Savannah reeling, whispers of Noah as a vigilante haunting him. At 40, orphaned at 9 and tethered to his ailing adoptive mother Ruth, Noah faced a new battle. Clara, from jail, had filed a restraining order, accusing him of threats to secure her confession. Her lies, spun to reduce her fraud sentence, threatened to bury him. Inside the courtroom, Clara played the victim with chilling precision. Her chestnut curls pinned neatly, her emerald eyes brimming with rehearsed tears, she testified Noah bullied her into signing the gala confession, fabricating emails of his rage. Her lawyer, a sharp Atlanta import, waved a forged psychiatric report, painting Noah as unhinged, a man broken by childhood trauma. Savannah's gossips packed in the pews, split. Some saw Clara as a fallen angel, others Noah as a betrayed hero. Church ladies from Christ Episcopal, once his allies, clutched Bibles, their whispers of poor Clara cutting deep. Noah's foster care pain, feeling cast out unworthy, surged, but Ruth's frail voice at home steadied him. Truth's your shield, son. He'd fight, not for himself, but for her and Savannah's trust. Noah, representing himself, stood calm, his lawyer's mind razor sharp. He cross-examined Clara, her sobs faltering as he pressed. Why forge emails after the gala? Her vague answers drew the judge's frown. Noah called Jenna Cole, the Savannah Morning News reporter, who testified to Clara's emails planning the $500,000 theft, verified by forensic techs. Sarah Miles, his investigator, presented gala photos and Vincent's offshore accounts, tying Clara to coastal horizons. Noah played the jail recording, Clara's voice, admitting Vincent's coercion but revealing her greed for Isabelle's network. The crowd gasped, Clara's tears drying as her lies unraveled. Her lawyer objected, but the judge, a stern Savannah native, allowed it, eyes narrowing at Clara. The decisive blow came in a sealed envelope Noah handed the judge. It contained Clara's signed gala confession, notarized by Grace Harper, the fund's chair, and a video from the tent confrontation, showing Clara's voluntary admission, no coercion. The envelope also held texts Clara sent post-gala, plotting to ruin Noah with her lawyer, intercepted by Noah's tech expert. The judge read silently, then glared at Clara. Perjury is a serious crime, Ms. Bennett. Clara collapsed in her seat, her facade shattered. Noah's voice, steady, addressed the court. She stole from our clinics, our kids, our trust. I only sought justice. The crowd murmured, some nodding, others shamed for doubting him. The judge denied Clara's restraining order, citing her credible evidence of deceit and ordering her immediate detention for perjury, pending fraud charges. Savannah's gossip mill spun anew. Churchgoers apologized to Noah outside. Donors vowed to rebuild the fund. Ruth, watching on a courthouse livestream, texted, "Proud of you, son." Her words healed Noah's wounds, though Clara's courtroom wail, "You've destroyed me," echoed. He'd won, but the cost weighed heavy. Savannah's oaks swaying in the wind seemed to nod approval, but Noah felt the broker's shadow. His justice had spilled blood. Clara's defeat was final, yet Isabelle Thornton loomed, her network untouched. Driving home, Ruth's roses glowing under streetlights, Noah gripped the wheel, Clara's perfume a ghost in his mind. Her lies had fallen, but her jail plea about Isabelle's reach gnawed at him. Noah, forged by loss, parents, trust, love, knew the fight wasn't over. Savannah's courthouse had delivered justice, but Isabelle's empire and the broker's debts waited. Noah Sullivan, The boy who'd survived foster homes would face them for Ruth, for Savannah, for the truth that never hid. Savannah's winter chill seeped through the oaks, their Spanish moss swaying like ghosts over Noah Sullivan's weary shoulders. The courthouse victory over Clara Bennett, now jailed for perjury and fraud, had cleared his name but left scars. Her $250,000 scam with Vincent Hayes and Elliot Parker, exposed at the Savannah Unity Fund gala, was a prelude to a darker web. Isabelle Thornton's Coastal Horizons, a fraud empire Clara had tied to in jail. Vincent's overdose and Elliot's suicide, courtesy of the broker, haunted Noah, their blood a weight on his foster care-hardened soul. At 40, tethered to his dying adoptive mother Ruth, Noah faced a final quest: dismantle Isabelle's network to save Savannah's trust. Clara's jailhouse whisper, Isabelle's untouchable, gnawed at him, but Ruth's fading voice urged, "Finish it, son." Noah's hunt began in his Broughton Street office, cluttered with case files and Ruth's fading photos. Sarah Miles, his investigator, dug into Horizon Ventures, the shell company Clara linked to Isabelle's Atlanta penthouse. Sarah's report stunned Noah. Isabelle, 45, wasn't just a philanthropist. She'd run scams since the 90s. Her real name, Margaret Voss, a Savannah native who'd vanished after a 2005 charity fraud. Noah's pulse raced. Margaret had managed a foster home he'd lived in at 12, her cold eyes unforgettable. She'd pushed kids into work programs, skimming their earnings. Noah's memory flashed. A stolen $50 he'd earned. Margaret's smirk dismissing his pleas. Isabelle wasn't just Clara's boss. She was a ghost from his past, tying his pain to Savannah's betrayal. Sarah traced Isabelle to a Charleston gala, posing as a donor. Noah drove north, Savannah's marshes fading behind him, Ruth's oxygen tank beeping in his mind. At the gala, Isabelle dazzled in sapphire silk, her silver hair and sharp smile masking a predator. Noah, under a fake name, charmed her aide, slipping a tracker onto her purse. The device led Sarah to Isabelle's Charleston safe house, where files revealed Coastal Horizons defrauded $10 million across the South, with Savannah's fund a small cog. One document chilled Noah, a 2010 email from Isabelle to Clara, then an event planner offering partnership if Clara married Noah, a rising lawyer, to access his community ties. Clara's betrayal wasn't just greed, it was orchestrated. Back in Savannah, Noah faced a fracturing community. Donors, led by Grace Harper, rebuilt the fund, but churchgoers at Christ Episcopal wavered, some calling Noah a curse for Vincent's and Elliot's deaths. Gossip swirled, he's too vengeful. Ruth, weaker daily, coughed through her knitting circle, begging Noah to heal Savannah. Her hospital bills, unpaid by the fund's chaos, crushed him. Noah's guilt over the broker's kills, meant to scare, not slay, deepened, his foster care survival instinct warring with shame. He confided in Jenna Cole, the Savannah Morning News reporter, who agreed to hold Isabelle's story until Noah had proof. Jenna's warning, "Isabelle's got powerful friends," echoed Clara's. Noah's plan crystallized under Savannah's gas lamps. He'd infiltrate Isabelle's Atlanta office, posing as a developer, to steal Coastal Horizons ledgers. Sarah hacked Isabelle's email, scheduling a meeting, while Noah prepared forged credentials. But the broker sent a chilling text. "Voss knows you're coming. Pay my debt or you're next." Noah's blood ran cold. The broker, his weapon, was a noose. He burned the message, Ruth's roses outside his window a fading anchor. Isabelle's past, Clara's setup, and his own deals tied him to this fight. Savannah's gossip grew louder, some neighbors saluting his courage, others shunning his shadow. Noah, shaped by loss, parents at 9, trust at 40, steeled himself. Driving to Atlanta, Savannah's oaks in his rear view, Noah gripped Ruth's old locket, her frail face his fuel. Isabelle wasn't just a fraud. She was the architect of his pain, from foster homes to Clara's lies. He'd expose her, not for revenge, but for Ruth, for Savannah, for the boy who'd begged for $50. The broker's threat loomed, but Noah Sullivan, forged in fire, would face Isabelle's empire and his own demons. Savannah's streets, whispering his name, awaited the truth's final toll. The Atlanta skyline glittered like a cold promise as Noah Sullivan stepped into the Lion's Den, Isabelle Thornton's Coastal Horizons headquarters. Savannah's oaks, Ruth's roses, and the weight of his foster care past fueled his mission to end Isabelle's fraud empire, tied to Clara Bennett's $250,000 scam and a $10 million web across the South. Isabelle, once Margaret Voss, the foster home tyrant who'd stolen Noah's childhood earnings, had orchestrated Clara's marriage to control Noah's community ties. The broker's threat, "Pay my debt or you're next," loomed, but at 40, with Ruth's heart failing, Noah had no retreat. Clara's jail defeat and the deaths of Vincent Hayes and Elliot Parker, the broker's work, were battles won. But Isabelle was the war. Savannah's trust and Ruth's fading breath demanded her fall. Noah, posing as a developer named James Carter, entered Isabelle's sleek office, forged credentials in hand. Sarah Miles's hack had secured the meeting, and Noah's tracker on Isabelle's purse confirmed her presence. Isabelle, silver-haired and sharp-eyed, greeted him with a predator's smile, her sapphire earrings glinting. Noah pitched a fake condo deal, slipping a USB keylogger into her laptop's port as she turned to pour coffee. The device, synced to Sarah's server, began downloading Coastal Horizons ledgers, proof of $10 million in fraud, including Savannah's fund. Isabelle's casual mention of charity partners like Clara chilled Noah, her voice echoing the foster home sneer that had dismissed his stolen $50. His pulse pounded, but he smiled, playing the eager investor. Sarah, monitoring from a van outside, texted, "Ledgers secured. Get out." But Isabelle's aide, a burly ex-cop, blocked the door, eyes narrowing. "Mr. Carter, you're no developer," Isabelle said, her smile gone. She'd traced Noah's alias, tipped by a broker contact. Noah's stomach dropped. The broker had betrayed him. Isabelle leaned close, whispering, "You're the Savannah lawyer who ruined Clara. Margaret Voss says hello." Noah's foster care fear, cornered, powerless, flashed, but Ruth's voice steadied him. "Truth's your shield." He bolted, shoving the aide, and fled to the stairwell, Sarah's van screeching to meet him. The ledgers were his weapon, but Isabelle's reach was a noose. Back in Savannah, Noah and Jenna Cole, the Savannah Morning News reporter, prepared the exposé. The ledgers detailed Isabelle's fraud, fake charities, offshore accounts, and Savannah's $250,000 as a test run. Noah leaked the files to the FBI through Grace Harper's contacts, timing Jenna's story for maximum impact. At a packed Savannah press conference, hosted at the Rebuilt Fund's Bay Street office, Noah stood with Grace facing cameras. Jenna's article hit, headlined "Atlanta Fraud Queen Toppled," naming Isabelle and Coastal Horizons. Noah spoke, voice steady. "This is for Savannah's kids, our clinics, our trust." The crowd cheered, donors pledging millions to the fund, churchgoers from Christ Episcopal embracing him. But Noah's heart sank. Jenna's story, per his request, hinted at the broker's role, exposing Noah's deal to protect Ruth. The fallout was swift. FBI agents arrested Isabelle in Atlanta, her penthouse raided, Horizon Ventures exposed. Savannah buzzed. Gossip turned to awe, neighbors saluting Noah as our hero. But the broker's encrypted call came that night. "You named me. Ruth pays." Noah's blood froze. He raced to Ruth's Jones Street home, finding her safe but weaker, her heart monitor faltering. Ruth, eyes soft, gripped his hand. "You gave me justice, son. Live free." She slipped away hours later, her roses outside glowing under moonlight. Noah's foster care grief, losing everyone, crushed him, but Ruth's words burned. He'd freed Savannah. Isabelle's trial loomed, Clara's jail sentence extended for perjury, and the fund thrived under Grace. Noah, alone in his office, faced the broker's shadow. His exposé had toppled Isabelle but endangered him. Savannah's oaks whispered of redemption, but Noah, forged by loss, parents, Ruth, trust, knew peace came at a cost. He'd sacrificed his safety for truth, and the broker's debt waited. Noah Sullivan, the boy who'd fought for $50, had won Savannah's heart, but his final fight lingered beyond the horizon. Savannah's spring dawn painted the oaks in soft gold, but Noah Sullivan's heart carried winter's weight. Isabelle Thornton's arrest, exposing her $10 million Coastal Horizons fraud, tied to Clara Bennett's $250,000 scam, had restored Savannah's trust. Clara languished in jail, her perjury and fraud exposed. Vincent Hayes and Elliot Parker, dead by the broker's hand, were ghosts of Noah's justice. Ruth's death, her final words, "Live free," echoed in Noah's foster care scarred soul. At 40, alone in his Broughton Street office, Noah faced the broker's debt, his role in Vincent's and Elliot's deaths a stain. The broker's threat after Isabel's fall, "Ruth paid, you're next," loomed like Savannah's storm clouds. Noah, forged by loss, parents, Ruth, trust, sought redemption, not just for Savannah, but for the boy who'd fought for truth since a stolen $50. Noah's final hunt began with a cryptic broker message. "Meet me, Tybee Pier, midnight, clear your debt." Sarah Miles, his investigator, urged caution, tracing the broker to a network of fixers tied to Isabel's rivals. Noah refused to hide. Ruth's legacy demanded he face the fire. He confided in Jenna Cole, the Savannah Morning News reporter, asking her to hold a letter detailing his broker deal, to be published if he vanished. At Tybee Pier, waves crashing under moonlight, Noah stood alone, Ruth's locket in his pocket. The broker emerged, a wiry man in a black coat, voice low. "You exposed me in Jenna's story. Pay with blood or truth." Noah, heart pounding, offered the truth, a recorded confession, admitting his role in hiring the broker, stored on a drive for the FBI. The broker laughed, cold. "Truth's weak. Blood's better." He drew a knife, but Noah, trained by foster home brawls, disarmed him, pinning him against the pier's railing. "Kill me and the drive goes public," Noah growled, showing a tracker Sarah had planted, linked to her team. The broker cornered, sneered, but backed down, demanding the drive. Noah refused, offering a deal. "Disappear, and the confession stays buried." The broker vanished into the night, but Noah knew the truce was fragile. He sent the drive to Grace Harper, the funds chair, with instructions to release it if he died, ensuring Savannah's safety over his own. Savannah's community, healing under Grace's leadership, crowned Noah a hero. Donors rebuilt the Savannah Unity Fund, clinics reopened, and Christ Episcopal churchgoers, once cold, invited Noah to Sunday hymns, their apologies warm. Gossip faded, replaced by pride. Streets buzzed with, "Noah saved us." But Noah's trauma lingered. Clara's betrayal, Isabel's foster home cruelty, Ruth's loss. He visited Ruth's grave, her roses blooming nearby, and whispered, "I'm trying, Mom." Her memory fueled him to close the past. Noah met Clara in jail, her emerald eyes hollow. She begged forgiveness, claiming Isabelle forced her marriage. Noah, stone-faced, walked away. Her lies no longer held him. Noah's redemption came at a cost. The broker's network, spooked by his defiance, marked him. Sarah warned of hitmen trailing his jeep. For Savannah's peace, Noah chose exile. He sold his office, donated the funds to the clinic, and left a letter for Jenna, praising Savannah's resilience. Driving west, Savannah's oaks in his rear view, Noah gripped Ruth's locket. Clara, Isabelle, the broker, were shadows. His truth had freed Savannah but chained him to a fugitive's life. The boy who'd survived foster homes, who'd fought for justice, found bittersweet peace. Savannah's streets, glowing under dawn, would remember Noah Sullivan, their scarred hero, forever. The desert sun burned over Mesilla, New Mexico, a far cry from Savannah's moss-draped oaks, as Noah Sullivan unpacked a duffel in a rented adobe bungalow. 8 months had passed since he'd left Savannah, his exile a shield for the city he'd saved. Clara Bennett's $250,000 scam, Isabelle Thornton's $10 million Coastal Horizons fraud, and the broker's bloody justice, Vincent Hayes and Elliot Parker's deaths, were chapters closed. Noah's victory at the gala, courthouse, in Atlanta had restored the Savannah Unity Fund, but Ruth S. death and the broker E.S. threat, "You are next," had driven him west. At 40, scarred by foster care loss, parents, Ruth, trust, Noah sought peace, Ruth's locket his only tether to Savannah's golden streets. Masila's quiet suited Noah. He worked as James Carter, a paralegal in a small firm, his lawyer days buried to dodge the broker's network. Nights he sat on his porch, stars above, wrestling ghosts. Clara's emerald eyes, Isabelle's foster home smirk, and Ruth's final words, "Live free," haunted him. Flashbacks of Tybee Pier, disarming the broker's knife, gripped him, his foster care instincts, survive, fight, still sharp. A letter from Jenna Cole arrived, updating Savannah. Grace Harper's fund had built 3 clinics. Donors hailed Noah a legend, and Christ Episcopal named a scholarship for Ruth. Noah smiled, tears falling. Savannah thrived, his sacrifice worth it. But guilt lingered. The broker's kills, ordered to scare, not slay, stained his soul. A twist came in a plain envelope, postmarked Savannah. Inside, Clara's handwriting, smudged from jail. "Noah, I'm sorry. Isabelle broke me, but I broke us. I'm out in 5 years. Forgive me." Noah's chest tightened. Her lies had fueled this saga, yet her plea stirred pity. He burned the letter, its ashes scattering in Masila's dust. Clara was his past, not his future. But the envelope held a second note, unsigned. "You can't hide, Sullivan." The broker's shadow. Noah's pulse raced, but he'd planned for this. Sarah Miles, still his ally, had set alerts for broker activity. Noah mailed her a new tracker, vowing to stay one step ahead, Ruth's locket his courage. Savannah's legacy glowed in Jenna's next letter. A statue in Forsyth Park, etched, "For Noah Sullivan, Truth's Champion," unveiled by kids from the fund's clinics. Churchgoers sang his name. Gossip now ballads of his courage. Noah, reading under Messiah's stars, felt Ruth's pride. He visited a local diner, leaving a donation for a youth shelter, echoing Ruth's kindness. Messiah's simplicity, hearing kids laugh, smelling coffee, eased his trauma. Noah's foster care wounds, deepened by Clara's betrayal and Isabelle's cruelty, began to heal. He wasn't free of the broker, but he was free of Savannah's chains, living as Ruth wished. One dawn, Noah hiked a desert trail, Ruth's locket glinting. He whispered to her, "I'm living, Mom." The boy who'd fought for $50, who'd toppled an empire, found peace in exile. Savannah's oaks, miles away, stood tall, their whispers carrying his name. The broker loomed, Clara's release neared, but Noah Sullivan, forged in fire, was ready. His truth had saved a city, and Messiah's open sky gave him space to breathe. The scarred hero, alone but whole, walked on, Savannah's love his eternal dawn.